Hello and welcome back to my channel. On this video, I'm going to talk about all of the books that I hope to read in December of 2025, and I have quite the list. So first I'm going to start with books I did not get to in previous months, and then I will talk about a predetermined list of books that I hope to get to, and then I will end the video by picking 5 random books from my Kindle backlist using my alphabet challenge, where I pick a random letter from the alphabet and then choose 5 books that start with that letter. So let's dive in. For books that I haven't gotten to from previous months, the list is really short. So first off, I have Daily Creative. This is the book of essays I've been reading throughout the entire year. There's one essay for every day of the year. And this is on basically creative energy and like prompts and questions and things. And I've really been enjoying it, by Todd Henry. So I will finish the December essays this coming month. And then the only other book I haven't gotten to yet is one called Love by the Book by Jessica George. This is a galley. It is an advanced reader's copy of a book that is coming out in April. And so I think this is why I haven't felt so pressured to read it quite yet. But I do hope to get to it in December. Okay, the predetermined books on my list. I have Save Me by Mona Kasten. This is the first book in the Maxton Hall series, and I've actually been watching Maxton Hall, the adaptation, which is originally in German, dubbed into English on Prime Video. And I've really been enjoying it. And typically I do not watch an adaptation without reading the book first. I don't think I realized this was a book until I kind of got into it. And so I'm going back, reading the book. The second season of this series recently came out, and so I want to read the first book before I get into the second part of the series. I also added some holiday books to my list. One is called The Secret History of Christmas by Bill Bryson. This is an Audible original, and so I'm not even sure if it's available in kind of like textbook form, but it is available in audio. And Bill Bryson is kind of a humor writer, and I always enjoy his books. I've read several in the past, and so I'm going to pick that up. I also have, in the holiday themed books, a book called When Christmas Comes. This is the first book in the Cameron Winter series by Andrew Klavan. And I came across another book in this series recently that looked interesting to me. And of course, I'd like to start a series from the beginning, and it happens to be holiday themed. And so I thought, perfect for December, I will go ahead and kick off with this particular book in the series. And this is about a sleuthing English teacher who needs a Christmas miracle to prove a condemned man innocent in this terrific holiday themed novel. It was also a Publishers Weekly starred review. So looking forward to picking that up. I'm also picking up a book called Yours for the Season by Uzma Jalaluddin. And this is a book that is focused on a cross-cultural fake romance where there is a man and a woman who are fake dating. And there's a woman who has Muslim parents, and then they want to meet the man's family who are not Muslim, and they all come together around the holidays. So this is a book that just came out in early December, so looking forward to picking that up as well. I also added to my list The Most Wonderful Crime of the Year by Ali Carter. This is a book that came out a couple years ago and had really nice reviews. And again, it's kind of like a Christmas holiday themed mystery novel, so wanted to pick that one up as well. Also, I stumbled across a book called Christmas Crimes at the Mysterious Bookshop by Otto Penzier, who's an editor of this volume. And I couldn't help myself. I wanted to pick this up. There are 13 festive crime stories set in New York City's beloved mystery bookshop. It is the oldest mystery specialty bookshop in the world, called the Mysterious Bookshop. And this just sounded really fun. So I decided to pick that up as well. Also picking up in the holiday themed genre is Good Spirits. This is the first book in the Ghosted series by B.K. Borison. I've read at least one other book by B.K. Borison, and if I remember correctly, it wasn't like blowing me away, but I've heard really good things about this. It is about the ghost of Christmas past, and he intends to spend this holiday haunting like every other, get in, get out, and return to his otherwise aimless existence as a ghost awaiting the afterlife. But when he's faced with Harriet York, the sweetest assignment he's ever had, he suddenly finds himself wishing for a future. So I'm going to pick that one up as well. And okay, that's the end of my holiday themed books. Let me go back to other books I have on my list. I'm also going to pick up a book called The Artisan Soul, Crafting Your Life into a Work of Art. This is by Erwin Raphael McManus. I stumbled across this book and saw that it had some really nice reviews. And basically, this is about human creativity and the beginning of a new renaissance. The author not only calls us to reclaim our creative essence, but reveals how we can craft our lives into a work of art. So I just thought it sounded interesting. And I also have a couple Lucinda Berry books on my list. This is becoming a common theme for me because I'm reading a bunch of her backlist. One of the books is called 1 in 4. This is about a reality show about a former child star, a set of former child stars who are overcoming addiction, and it culminates in murder, and their therapist needs to take a closer look into their lives and her own to try to figure out what happened. So that is one of the two. The other Lucinda Berry that I decided to pick up is called Under Her Care, and it says it's a shocking thriller about the disturbing complexities of a mother's love and the deadly consequences of unraveling family secrets. A mayor's wife turns up brutally murdered under a railroad bridge, and standing next to her body is 14-year-old Mason Hill, the autistic son of former Miss USA. The locals are quick to level their verdict on young Mason that he did it, and then there is a town detective who gets called in to consult on the case. So always kind of setting up interesting premises in these books, so I'm looking forward to picking those up. I also decided to add to my list a book called The Life Brief, a playbook for no regrets living by Bonnie Wan. I saw this and honestly, I just thought it was interesting, and so I thought I would pick it up. I also feel like this time of the year when you're starting to transition into a new calendar year, it's always an interesting time to be thinking about intentional living, so I have a couple books on my list this month that are focused on that. Also on my list this month is a book called Castle of Water by Dane Huckelbridge, and this is about two people who are basically stuck on a desert island after a plane crash. And this I thought sounded really interesting, and it's basically about their survival in the South Pacific. And I love a good story that is focused on adventure and survival. Also on my list is What We Value, The Neuroscience of Choice and Change by Emily Falk. I put this on my list. It is a physical book I have out from my library to hold myself accountable to actually reading it, because I have already checked it out once, had to return it, and now I've checked it out again because I actually want to read this book. It's just hard for me sometimes to get to physical copies of books. So I'm excited to pick this one up. This is a recent release. It came out in April of this year, and I've been wanting to take a look at that. I also have on my list Capture the Moment. This is the first book in the National Park Summers series by Suzanne Woods Fisher. I read an Amish romance by this author a couple months back and really enjoyed it. And this is a different series that she has written about a photographer who has been hired by National Geographic and is paired up, I think, with like a park ranger, and they're trying to find like an elusive bear in a national park. So I thought I'd pick this up. It sounded fun. Also on my list is 59 Minutes by Holly Seddon, and this is a book that is about a nuclear missile threat to South England, and there's 59 minutes until the impact, and people are supposed to seek immediate shelter, and there's, I think, 3 different women who are trying to navigate survival amidst the chaos when the country receives the notification of this nuclear bomb threat. I love books like this that have kind of like a countdown feel and like a thriller component to it, and I thought the premise just sounded really interesting. All right, also on my list is a book called Mastermind by Andrew Mayne. I believe I have not read this author before, and this is a book about an EMP attack in Manhattan, and I believe it involves a kind of like serial killer as well. And because this is a new author for me, I thought it would be interesting to pick up. So I have this available on audio, and I'll be taking a look at that this month as well. One of the recent books that I was able to get on NetGalley is a book called This Is Your Body on Trauma. This is by Meg Bowman, and it is focused on the polyvagal theory and how it impacts trauma in the body. This is a book that I think, came out in October of 25. And so it is not forthcoming, it is recently released. And I've been reading a lot about just trauma-informed theories for the last year or so, and thought I would pick that up as well. Another book that I added to my list is one that I've been hearing a ton about. It is called Buckeye by Patrick Ryan. And this is a book that's been getting all kinds of accolades. It takes place in, I believe, the Midwest. It says, "One town, 2 families, a secret that changes everything." It's a captivating story that weaves the intimate lives of 2 Midwestern families across generations, from World War II to the late 20th century. And it's been blurbed by a couple of authors that I really enjoy. And so this is one that I've kind of just been seeing pop up in a bunch of different places. So I thought I would pick that up. I also have the second book in the Kingmakers series by Sophie Lark. It is called Year 2. This is a 4-book series that takes place over the course of a like high school experience with a bunch of kids who are the children of mobsters who are taking over their crime families, and they all get sent to the same school where they can't harm each other while they're in school together, but they are learning basically how to take over their crime families. And the first book I thought was just really interesting and kind of unique. I don't read a ton of mafia-themed books and especially mafia-themed YA romance, but I enjoyed that, so I'm going to pick up book 2. I also have on my list, I think it's pronounced Catabasis by R.F. Kuang. This is the most recent book by this author, and it's Dante's Inferno meets Susanna Clarke's Piranesi. It's a dark academia fantasy, and it is basically about 2 graduate students who have to put aside their rivalry and journey to hell to save their professor's soul. And this is one that I think this author is brilliant. I've read several things by her, and it just felt like a nice chunky novel to end the year. So I'm going to go ahead and pick that one up as well. Also picking up a book that I've heard a ton about, Quicksilver by Callie Hart. The second book in this series just came out, and so I want to read the first book in December and probably the second book in January. And it is a highly addictive enemies to lovers romantasy with razor-sharp banter, heart-stopping action, and blistering hot romance that you won't be able to put down. So looking forward to reading this. I've seen a ton of different people really enjoying it, so I want to pick up that. And then the last book that I have chosen on my predetermined list for December is Alchemized by Sen-Lin Yu. And this is the traditionally published version of Manacled, which was originally a fanfic that was a Hermione and Draco, so Hermione fanfic that I read earlier this year and just completely loved. This book clocks in at over 1,000 pages. So I do have it on audio. I also have it on ebook, and I'm really looking forward to diving into this. I think it's going to take me a while to get through it, but I think it'll be really fun. So now I'm going to choose my random alphabet letter so that I can pick out 5 backlist books from my Kindle and see what else I'm going to add to my list for this month of December. And the letter that I have chosen is S. So let's take a look at the S books on my Kindle and see what I might want to pick out. I'm just going to sort my Kindle by alphabetical in my library, and then take a look at what I have in the S section. All right, the first S book that I'm going to pick is one called Silver Elite by Danny Francis. And this is a book that I have heard a ton about. It is a mix between like dystopian and romance, and people have compared it to a bunch of other books that I've enjoyed. So this came out earlier this year in 2025, and it says that there is psychic gifts are a death sentence, and there are rules to survival. Trust no one, lie to everyone, and whatever you do, don't fall for your greatest enemy. So I'm excited to pick that one up. Let's see. The next book I'm going to pick up is one called A Simpler Life by The School of Life. And The School of Life is a collection of different kinds of essays, in different books that they put out. This book in particular explores ideas around minimalism, simplicity, and how to live comfortably with less, which is a perfect book as we head into the new year, perfectly themed. So I'm going to pick that one up as well. I am also going to pick up a book called Slow Horses by Mick Herron, and this is the first book in the Slow House series. It is based in London, where washed up MI5 spies go to while away what's left of their failed careers. And this was made into an adapted television show that I've been wanting to watch on Apple TV+. So I'm going to go ahead and add that to my list as well, see what I think. Another book I'm going to add to my list is one that I've been wanting to read for a really long time, and this is State of Terror, which was a co-written book by Hillary Clinton and Louise Penny. And this is a book that is a standalone. Louise Penny is known for her Inspector Gamage series, but this is a separate book, separate series, and it says, after a tumultuous period in American politics, a new administration has just been sworn in, and to everyone's surprise, the president chooses a political enemy for the vital position of Secretary of State. There is no love lost between these two people, but it's a canny move on the part of the president. With this appointment, he silences one of his harshest critics, since taking the job means that she must step down as head of her multinational media conglomerate. And it says that the new president addresses Congress for the first time. And there's a baffling text from an anonymous source that they realized too late is a hastily coded warning. So this is definitely like a political thriller. It's been a while since I've dipped into one of those, so looking forward to picking that up. Let's see. And then the last book I'm going to choose for my S books is one called The Strangler by William Landay. I've read several books by this author in the past, and it says this is a novel of crime and suspense based in Boston, 1963. Meet the charming, brawling Daly brothers. Joe is a cop whose gambling habits have dragged him down into the city's underworld. Michael is a lawyer, always the smartest man in the room. And Ricky is the youngest son, a prince of thieves whose latest heist may be his last. For the Dalys, crime is the family business. They're simply on different sides of it. Then a killer, a man who hunts women with brutal efficiency and no sign of stopping, strikes too close to the Daly home. The brothers unite to find the Strangler, a journey that leads to the darkest corners of Boston and exposes an even deeper mystery that threatens to tear the family apart. So, some really nice ones, adding in some suspense, mystery, dystopian into my reading list for December. Looking forward to all of those, and I hope you'll stick around to the end of the month to see what I was actually able to get read. Until then, happy reading.